Folks, this is my beautiful 1983 Chevy Silverado. Boy, I love this truck. It's been it's about time for a paint job though. The clear coat's starting to flake a little bit. Okay, so this is my daily driver. It's a good truck. Takes me everywhere I want to go. Nice shape. I bought this probably, let me do the math, about 7 years ago. And my brother Donnie and I put a new engine in it, crate engine in it from GMC Performance. Nice old truck, very fun to drive. Get all kinds of comments on it. It's just a great vehicle. Do you want to see the horror story? So far it's been very nice. If you're squeamish, you might want to turn the video off. So I'm driving to Jefferson yesterday, and deer runs out in the road. And if you've ever had that experience, you never hit the first deer, you always hit the next one. So deers like to run out in the road more than one at a time. And so the first deer's running out in the road, and then here comes the second one. And I'm not the type to swerve. If you swerve, you're gonna wreck, hit somebody else. You know, I tried to slow down, hit a large deer going about 50 miles an hour down a 4-lane road. And it was in the middle of like the city, really. I mean, we weren't really out in the country a lot, but it's an area that's developing. So they're building all of these new housing developments and stuff and everything. And so it's basically the animals don't know what to do, so they're getting like pushed out. So here you go. Can you believe this? Horrible. So the little headlight grill over there, looked like this. Now, if you look at this one, it's kind of banged up. So I was thinking about replacing those anyways. This one's cracked. Those aren't that much. I think they're about $30. This is the Silverado. So it had these little metal trim pieces, and they're painted the same color as the body of the truck. By the way, when all this happened, I'm sick as a dog too. So I can buy those. And then the grill itself is plastic. It's basically the same stuff, right? And the metal trim piece goes here. And then the bow tie, I think I can save it. I can save the metal trim pieces. The other one I picked up. It's in the back of the truck. The one that went here, this piece that goes here, I've got as well, but it's all caved in. The poor freaking deer really banged it up. I might be able to bend it back straight, maybe, but it's painted. That's the problem. You can buy them brand new, but they're not painted. So I may just have to buy new ones and use touch-up paint. Now, of course, none of that's all that important. What's more important is this. That's an oil cooler that's been added in. I mean, not an oil cooler, I'm sorry, a transmission cooler. I don't even need that, but I decided I want to replace it, put a new one in. It's like $40, so I ordered one of those. Behind it there is the air conditioning condenser. Look at this crap. So the air conditioning condenser is bent all to crap too. I ordered a new one of them. They're about $160. I've got the equipment to recharge the system and all that. The radiator doesn't appear to be bent, but we'll see whenever we take all this stuff apart. I've got the other headlight bucket in the back. The parking light is cracked. I'll get a new one of those. The worst thing though is the bumper's bent. This little, I would call it like a valence. That thing is bent. I might be able to take that off and bend it back straight, but the bumper's bent too. That's a little tougher. Donnie might have an idea. If you look at how it sits, see how we're about, I don't know, 45% down that light. I don't know, maybe I think it's bent. Well, maybe not. That's obviously bent, but I don't know if the bumper's bent. Obviously the bumper guard is bent, but we can take that off, bend it back, and put it back. So we'll have to measure it and stuff and see. I think it is. See, look how close we are there. And we're not there, so. But we'll see what we can do. So, yeah. There's a little dent here. I think maybe that's where his head hit or something. This, to be honest, was already loose, so I need to get clips for that. It did a little bit like here where it bent that up a little bit. That's no big deal. And it cracked the paint here, but it's not actually bent. I think it just flexed it and cracked the paint. And it kind of needed a paint job anyway. The problem with getting a paint job is finding somebody that'll actually do it. So yeah, that's what we're looking at. You can see the guard underneath the deflector or whatever that's called. And you know, the crazy thing is there's no blood. The thing got hit so strong, it just rolled under the truck. I bumped up in the air and went over it. And then I looked at it behind me, and there wasn't even any blood. The thing was just mangled in the middle of the road. Horrible, 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 horrible. So we got to try to fix some of this. All right, folks, I got my parts. I rinsed everything off. There's, yeah. As you can see, I didn't get all of it though. Look at all that. I got deer hair all over my radiator, but the radiator did not get hit. It looks pretty straight, and it's not leaking. So I think I'm all right. So I've got to take the air compressor, the air system didn't have a charge on it anyway. There was a leak somewhere. So I'm hoping that the leak was in the condenser. So I'm gonna go ahead and swap that. And then the little oil cooler is really easy. So let me see if I can get this condenser out of here. The old one's out. Be gone, cursed spot. Got a new one. New one's going in. All right, so we got the condenser in. Now I know what you're thinking. I don't know, Ronnie, you shouldn't have got that wet before you opened up the AC. It's gonna be okay, people, don't worry. It's gonna be all right. I got it in there. All this aftermarket stuff is never the right size, so it wasn't quite the right size, but it at least is in there. It's pretty straight and it's held in place. So, all right, so I'm gonna put the new oil transmission cooler up on there and swap the lines real quick. And we'll see how it looks. All right, well, much better. At least now it doesn't look all banged in, right? Yeah, I know I'm a little crooked. Don't worry about it, people. It's gonna be okay. So I think we're good with that. I gotta fill up fluids and test drive it. I think everything's cool though. Let me clean it up a little bit. That was some crap there. Look, you can see the exhaust down there. He probably hit that on the way under. I swear when I went over that thing, it boom, I bumped up in the air about a foot. Big old deer. But I think we're getting back to where we were. I think I may have actually got the radiator mounted in better than it was. I don't like the I had to bend that a little bit, but it's just, the thing is, the condenser, it's the wrong one, but it's exactly like the one that was in there before that worked historically. A year ago it worked. So it's one of those things where they make an aftermarket part that's like a completely different size, and the thing actually does work, but it doesn't mount in there very good. So you kind of have to wedge it in, and it's in there though. And then the oil cooler is an aftermarket. It wasn't even supposed to be on there, so it's just a little add-on. I need to check, you know, after I drive a little bit, just to make sure it's not rubbing against the frame or the evaporator, you know, where it'll rub a hole in one or the other. So I got to check that. And we got a lot of cosmetic stuff left to do. I got to try to bend that bottom piece back, which is pretty easy because it's real thin. It's just, I can bend it with my hand. I've got to get new park light lenses. I'm gonna do this one, but of course I'll do that one too while I'm at it. I've got to get a new grill, and I've got to get 2 headlight surrounds, and I got to get a new piece of trim for here. But that sounds like a lot. It's actually not. On this truck, it's not all that expensive. I don't know if I showed you the trim piece. I got it. I found it on the inside of the grill. So I might have to try to get that back flat because it's painted the body color. And then here's what's left of the headlight ring. Donnie went by and found the deer just because he's morbid. And he said that, man, the head of it looked real good. You must have hit it in the butt. So apparently, I think the thing was almost past me. It came from the left, went across 2 lanes of traffic, went through a median, went across another lane of traffic, went mostly across me, and then I hit the back of it, I guess. I was slowing down too. I almost missed it. That's okay. Things happen. The deer is off to play with Bambi. You know, Bambi didn't make it either, did he? I can't remember. I probably only watched it once and just quit the movie out of disgust. All right, but there you go. So that's the little bit of mechanical stuff that needed to be done. I don't think it was that big of a deal. The radiator I'm going to keep watching too. I got to make sure it's not leaking. There was some abrasions on it, but I couldn't tell if it was leaking or not. But if the radiator's messed up, it's easier to take it to change it, you know. So when I put the little ties in to hold the oil cooler, I only tied it to the condenser. I didn't tie it to the radiator. And the radiator is the first thing you can get to, so it's a little easier to change actually. So that's that. So hope you enjoyed it. Leave your comments down below. Make sure to give us a thumbs up for taking the trouble to film it for you. And we'll do another one showing us, seeing if we can get it cosmetically looking a little better. I'm sure Donnie will have some interesting ways to do that. We'll get to that next time. Hope you enjoyed the video.